Welcome to another video here at the Organic Roads Allotment. Today I'm in the Polytunnel and I've got a really nice job to do in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to prune these tomatoes on my left, and I've marked them determinate and indeterminate because the way I prune them is dependent on whether they are the type of tomatoes that will grow on forever, or is the type of tomato that will grow to a certain height and then actually stop there. Okay, so today I'm only going to be pruning suckers, and suckers, these little branches that are between the leaves and the stem. So I'm going to be pruning those off, and I'm going to be pruning at least about 15 centimeters of all the leaves from the compost at the bottom, or at least 15 centimeters up. And because it's really hot in here, it's about 32 degrees. I just looked at the thermometer, and I want there to be air circulation in between all of the tomatoes. And as you can see, I have jam-packed them in here. When you actually put this in, they're normally really small, so you don't really know how big they're gonna get, but as you can see for yourself, there's hardly a space in between. So pruning this is really important. Okay, so I'll get on with it, and then I'll show you the results of the first tomato, which is an indeterminate tomato. What I'm going to actually do close up. Last time I brought the camera in here, it overheated, so that's why I've actually left it outside at the door of the Polytunnel. Overheating in here, but I can self-regulate. Okay, so let's get on with these raspberry tomatoes, and I'll show you how I'm gonna prune it. Okay, and we're back. So as you can see with my raspberry tomato plant here, there's suckers just right here where I'm pointing to. So I'm going to remove all of these leaves. This is an indeterminate tomato. Now, if you were pruning a determinate tomato, what you want to do is to actually create opportunities for perhaps secondary branches to come off like that. So as you can see in there. So I might, if this was a determinate tomato, I might actually leave that and just cut this leaf off. And the idea is just I want my tomato to have multiple branches, but not too much leafage or leaf. Don't know whether leafage is even a word. Okay, so in this case, I'm cutting that off and this off, and all of the leaves below about 15 centimeters have now been cut off. And because this is an indeterminate tomato, I'm going to put up a support for it so that it climbs as far as it needs to, or as far as my Polytunnel will allow. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead on this tomato and all of these little suckers right at the bottom. Okay, we've shown you an example of how I will prune an indeterminate tomato. Now this one here is a determinate tomato. So what I would do is I'll cut off the lower leaves first. And what this does, it improves air circulation, and also it stops any possibility of diseases taking hold, because again of the poor circulation around the base of the tomato. So as you can see, I've cut all the leaves down up until this point here. Now, because this is a determinant tomato, what I could now do is I could remove some of these suckers. I think this method is called the Missouri pruning method, where I can just go in, instead of cutting, I could just go in and pinch off the tip of those suckers. Okay, so now that we've shown the difference between an indeterminate tomato and a determinate tomato, I can go ahead and do the rest. There's plenty to do. I have to move some of these trays out of the way, and we'll show you what it looks like after we're done. Thank you very much. And if you have not subscribed to our channel at this point, consider subscribing so you could follow our growing season. Okay, let's get on with our pruning. Sometimes if the plant has quite a lot of leaves, I do take off more than 15 centimeters because I'm really trying to get the air in under here. So as you can see right here, there's very little space. I made the mistake of actually letting two of this plant mature in this pot. So I'm just making sure that I'm not leaving too many branches. I made this mistake last year. I've left too many branches on some of the plants, and I had some of my tomatoes rot while they were still on the plants because there was just no air circulating around. It seemed really brutal to actually prune off most of these branches, and sometimes it looks like I'm cutting the whole plant down, but like this is a San Marzano, so it's determinate. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let it bush out, but toward the end here. So I won't pinch out some of this sucker, like this sucker that is actually come up toward the top here. I won't pinch that out, but I'll remove these leaves here just to give the plant some air. What I've done with this determinant plant, there's a sucker that's coming from the ground here near the compost, and tomatoes have got these little hairs. If you bury a tomato plant up to any point, those little hairs then turn into a root, and that root can also then reach the nutrients that are in the compost. So don't worry too much that perhaps you've cut off too many of the leaves, because each and every one of these sucker that I've left, like this one here, is now going to be pretty much a plant on its own. So no problem. Someone did actually ask me, aren't you worried that your tomatoes are not going to have enough leaves for photosynthesis? However, what I am doing is I'm making sure that I'm not cutting the leaves that are near the to the fruit, so that I don't stop the process from actually feeding the tomatoes on those particular branches. Okay, let's finish this up. I've only pruned about half of them, but you can already see that, if I just take you there, you can already see that there is much more space under here. So this St. Pierre's tomato is not pruned yet. You can hardly see anything. And I just get in there with a clean pair of scissors that I'm using. You have to make sure that you clean your scissors between tomatoes, because if one of your tomato happen to have a disease, you could easily pass it on to the others. And make sure that your pair of scissors are also really sharp, so you don't tear the branches off. Rather, you're supposed to be cutting them. Okay, there's a... If you've just joined us in the Polytunnel, today we are pruning, and I've also included a little experiment where I've cut off one of the sucker of this St. Pierre tomato, and we've trimmed it and then put it back into the moist compost. I want to find out whether it's really true that you could grow a tomato from one of those. I've never done it before, so we'll see. Now I've got a dilemma here, because this St. Pierre's is a determinant, and I want it to bush up, but at the top here, I want there to be some space at the bottom. So this big leaf here, I can actually cut that off, and as you can see, it's now created that lovely space. There's air circulation in there, and it will be really easy to manage. So we'll just put this also as part of that experiment. So we'll cut it right here and just put it in. I mean, I've got rooting powder, but I'm not actually going to use any, just to see whether these roots all over the tomato plant will take hold and grow. Okay. First time I saw someone doing that, I thought that they were harming the plant, until I got loads of mold on my tomatoes while they were still on the plant. So make sure that you prune your tomatoes to avoid problems like mold on the tomatoes themselves. So now what I'm gonna do, I've just finished pruning all of these tomatoes. So the next thing I wanna do is get some compost and just top up these bags. Yep, they definitely need it. Whew. All right, thank you very much for watching, and subscribe to our channel so you could follow our growing season. Toward the end of this video, I will just show you around the polytunnel, sort of, so you can see what we have actually growing at the moment. There are still some stuff that I have not actually moved from the polytunnel, because I really wanted to give them a really good chance of growing into a much stronger plant before they see the outside. We have already been harvesting. Cucumbers. They are the most satisfying plant you could ever grow. So every sort of a few days I come here. As you can see, there's a big cucumber here, right there. Don't know whether you can see it, it's just right here. Every sort of 4 days I can come here and get a handful of cucumbers. But they are also very thirsty because I'm growing them in this bag. So I have to make sure that every few days I really do come and give them a feed. I'm gonna give them some water now, just to make sure they don't dry out. Now you could see all of the tomatoes have been pruned out. The one thing that is clear is that there is much more space now under the plant, and that's exactly what I wanted. Right, I just finished pruning all the tomatoes, so what I'm gonna do is now add handful of this compost so that we can cover more of the plant and give the plant a chance to create more roots. And once I've given them this compost, I'm also going to add, I'll show you my favorite homemade plant feed. Once I've done that, I'm sure to stay out of the polytunnel because it's pretty smelly. What I'm talking about is this homemade camphor tea directly from this plant. So you can see this one has been brewed for 2 weeks, and it's that plant just cut up into water, and I'm gonna dilute it. First I'll fill up all the bags with compost, and then I'll dilute it and then feed the bottom. Thank you very much for watching our video today. If you have not subscribed already, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification button, and like our video. If you've got a comment that you want to give us some advice, you're always welcome to do so. Please leave a comment when you can. And we'll see you in the next video.